911, what are you reporting?
I got a strange going on out here. Something just killed my dog.
Something killed your dog?
My dog went flying through the air over the tree. I don't know how it did it.
Okay.
Damn it, I'm really confused. All I saw was my dog coming over the fence, and he was dead when she hit the ground. I didn't see any cars. All I saw was my dog coming over the fence.
911, what are you reporting?
We got someone or something crawling around out here.
Did you see what it was? Was it a person or an animal or?
I can't tell. All I know is that my central light came on and I just happened to glimpse and see this thing running across the yard. A good-sized man or something. It looks like a man. I don't know what it was, just that it ran across the yard.
Okay. You've had problems in the neighborhood before?
Yeah, my dog was killed here just recently. I don't know what it was. Whatever it is, it's running. I couldn't catch it if I was going to chase it, but whatever it was standing up. I'm out here looking through the window now and I don't see anything. I don't want to go outside. Jesus Christ, you better...
Sure.
Come on, see ya!
Hello?
Get somebody out here.
What's going on now, sir?
That son of a bitch is about 6'9", I don't know.
Do you see him now, sir?
Yes, I'm looking right at him.
Uh-oh. Okay, hang on.
He's right...
Is he in your yard, sir?
Yeah, God, he's big.
Okay, what's he doing in your yard?
He's looking at me.
Oh, and the guy is on foot.
I don't know what... It's a big... real big person. That's all I can say.
Okay, but it is a person.
Yeah, I'd say it was a person, somebody really big. But he's all in black.
Is he a black male or a white male? Did you actually see whether, or was he just wearing black?
He's all black and he's big. He is big.
Hear that? Get Trevor. Austin, get the light. Fuck. Hey! That was not an elk. Where's that coming from? Get my keys. Oh, get ready. Dude, fuck that. Fuck that. Everybody, get in my truck. You hear that? Hear that?
That tree has a bunch, and then this log over here has a bunch. Take a walk over there. These look pretty big. Yeah, this, look how big that one is down there. It's got to be about 12 inches across. And this one looks like it has a bite out of it. And this one. And there's one over here. Looks like it's holding some water. Huh? I think it's time to go.
Holy cow.
He and his wife and grandson first heard that howl when they were walking back to their car at the end of the trail along the Vermilion River, about 45 minutes from the town of Sioux Lookout. Initially, Mikas thought it was a moose or a bear, but the experienced hunter quickly realized that it was a sound he's not familiar with. Mikas posted 2 videos on YouTube where they have since gone viral, racking up 2 million views. Bigfoot, Sasquatch, a wolf, Mikas says we may never know.
I just dug up another trap. Well, it's getting dark on me. Down to my last target. Looks like a little wooden, or what's that? Whoa, did you guys hear that? It sounded like something howling. Still hear it. Sweet little box. Boy, that freaked me out. Oh. Alright, so I'm working my way back. Whoa, did you hear that? Oh man, something just threw something in the water right beside me. Oh, jeez. Alright, guys, let's get out of here. I just threw something else in the water just now. Alright, I'm finally getting close to the road. Whew, that scared the crap out of me. Let's get back to the house and get ready for the roundup.
We're in for a night view.
You're trying to talk to this.
That's our job. Now we know where we look for tracks of life for sure. There's two of them across the creek at the big rocks. It's a hard act to follow.
It sounds like he talks to us and they talk to each other.
Yeah. Right there, I just seen movement right through there.
I joined the Navy early. I have a BA degree in literature and communications. I'm one of the few two-time graduates of the Defense Language Institute Foreign Language Center in Monterey, California. After that, 20 years of cryptologic technician interpreter, which that deals with the collection of voice communications, then the transcription, then the analysis, and then the reporting of the intelligence that we gather from the collection. I believe that one of my most important qualifications is the hundreds into the thousands of hours of listening to the human voice on tape. We know that I knew immediately that this could not be fake, is that you will hear the hunter and the creatures speaking at the same time, stepping on each other's voice. That's one of it cannot be faked, and it certainly could not be faked in 1972. Play this at real time. They are making, by the way, they are making sounds that humans can't to hear the language. That's real time. When I slow it down, it will become very apparent. It even begins to sound human. How do we know it's not a human and you've just speeded the tapes up? Well, no. You will hear the difference. Because humans can't make this. This does not sound like a human's voice speeded up. We all have heard human voices speeded up. You know, even very fast. It sounds like the chipmunks. This does not sound like the chipmunks. Now here is when he begins to get really aggressive, and he kind of builds himself up into a rage, because what happened with the humans, they don't go immediately back into the cabin, into the lean-to. So the big male begins to get aggressive. Probably in an attempt to, just like a human would, try to scare, intimidate. Now here, you see the humans and the creatures stepping on each other. You hear the humans. They're not going back in yet, which really makes him mad. Here we go. That's the female. The male. That's obviously the male and the female having conversational terms. Because he becomes so aggressive that she comes in, and it's almost like she's saying, hey, she calms him down, apparently. Yeah, because he slowly composes himself, and then they move on, right? And I like to joke, you know, in some of my presentations that it sounds like an old married couple, you know, having a little argument there. That's the first big interaction between them and humans, and between themselves. There's a reason that they're able to speak that fast. And it's also one of the reasons why we know that it's not a human. Okay? And that is because they articulate on the pant. I'm telling you this now so that you might be able to hear it. Okay? Speaking on the pant means the inhale. Humans, I mean, we're able to do it, but it's very difficult for us. Okay? In other words, we can go, I want, no, when. We can do it, but it's extremely difficult for humans. These creatures do it with ease. I usually like to give you my arguments for the 3 conclusions that I came to that day in my classroom. Again, those conclusions are, this is not a human being. Number 2, they are speaking a language, a complex language. And 3, that it could not have been faked.
Rocky Mountain Sasquatch. Several folks asked if anyone had searched for tracks, and others stated we should send a drone up to where a suspect Bigfoot was filmed running up a steep mountainside near one of the high elevation Wasatch Front mountain peaks. A helicopter pilot flew over the Wasatch Front mountain range looking for evidence right after watching the video. Not saying that was a Bigfoot running in an uphill direction on a very steep mountainside in deep snowpack that is windswept and iced over most of the day, nor am I saying that these giant footprints in this large trackway is Bigfoot. However, this trackway is consistent with most credible Bigfoot trackways when the creature is running or moving at a brisk pace. These brisk pace trackways usually have long strides and the footprints are directly in front of each other as if the creature is walking a tightrope. Perhaps one or both of these pieces of video evidence is just a coincidence, or one or both is actual evidence of this rare, elusive giant. Keep on watching, we're gonna keep on squatching.
In this particular video, known as the New York baby footage, you see a few people in the foreground. They're talking around a campfire, and it's behind them that you see a large figure walking behind a tent, and something hops off its shoulder and then starts climbing up into the tree like an ape. It goes up into the tree, moves around very quickly, and at one point hangs from a branch with two arms and just swings there. It looks like it's playing.
There is no way that the figure in the tree is a small human being doing those amazing leaps and bounds. I've spent a lot of time around gymnastics in general. My ex-wife was a gymnastics instructor. I've seen it again and again. The best gymnasts in the world, they cannot duplicate what I've seen in that video. So what we have here is either a case of a pet ape or a Sasquatch, possibly an adult and a juvenile.
Hey Shelly, you wanted to video the lake and see what it was like up here? Hold on, let me turn around. Lighting's bad. What the hell is that? What the hell did I just see? What the fucking hell?
Hey everyone, Tate Fulbright with the Squatch Watchers here. We were sent an interesting video that's about 5 minutes long and we thought it'd be worth your time to look at. It looks to be about 3 or 4 forest creatures, wild, feral type creatures, Bigfoot juvenile if you will. But there looks to be about 3 or 4 in this camera shot, and it looks to be a trail camera that's just placed on a particular part of the wilderness and some old looking concrete buildings of some sort. But as you watch the video, you'll see 2 or 3 of them just crawling around, walking around, talking, rustling through the leaves. You'll see 1 or 2 of them beat this skinny little tree to a pulp and bend it completely over like we see out in the wilderness on our investigations. And then also, there looks to be a suspected 4th one that's walking behind the trail camera and mumbling and talking in some sort of language. Like I said, we thought this was very interesting footage. It is almost compelling footage for the community, and we thought we'd share it with y'all. And here it is. You let us know what you think in the comments, and we'll see you soon on some more investigations.
folks. My next guest was here 2 years ago when she was Playboy's 40th anniversary Playmate. Recently, she was in the news again after she said she saw Bigfoot. She has tape. We'll find out. Please welcome Anna Marie Goddard. Fascinated by this Bigfoot thing.
I can understand that.
Now, let's get right to this here. Now, gobble. Let's describe. Now you're serious. I've been teasing about it, but you're serious.
No, I'm totally serious about it.
She's totally serious about it. Describe the incident.
Okay, well, I'm doing this TV show called Adventures.
Adventures.
And the main goal of this TV show this time was going up to the Redwoods, Northern California. And we had, you know, been shooting for 5 days in a row, and, you know, we were tired.
You were tired at the time.
Well, yes, I was. Also, I have to include also that we were sponsored by Arrowhead and Corona, so, you know...
So you were drinking, you were tired.
Yeah, I have to admit, I really, you know...
It's late at night, you're drunk.
But I have it on tape.
Some guys...
The thing is...
You saw Ed Asner, didn't you?
I have it on tape.
Oh, you have the tape, all right. Now, what happened? So, it was, how late at night was this?
This was around 6 o'clock, you know.
6 o'clock?
Yeah, it became dark.
So it was dark.
And it, you know, got rainy. And
now, who had the... I mean, just the fact that you saw Bigfoot at the same time you had the camera. Explain kind of how
Okay, well, that's what I was getting to, okay? This is... We were partying. Okay, so this tape that I have, this footage, was not shot with the big beta camera.
Right.
It was shot with a little camcorder.
Right.
And we just, you know, filmed each other because we had fun. We were goofing off. And,
I would love to see that tape.
Yeah. So that's why we were like filming each other, you know, being crazy, having the Corona. Finally, you know, we could open those boxes and start enjoying those.
Yes, well, we got enough plugs in. Yes, okay, now.
Okay, beer.
Can I just say that I believe you, Anna?
Yeah. See? I'm sure that all the people here believe me.
Well, let's show the footage and then we'll discuss it. Okay, here it is. Here it is. Take a look. Now, you be the judge. This is out of the window of the van. Now, this is... Where is...
No. Come on, Jay. That's not a bear. That's not a gorilla or whatsoever. That's something different. No. That's Bigfoot.
Now, did the guys go out and chase after this?
Yeah. The guy with the camera went after it, and then two other guys.
And did they catch it?
No, they didn't catch it. It was dark. It was raining. It was really terrible, and I'm sure it was really fast.
I would have thrown the camera into the woods, just the video camera, to see what happened.
Maybe we should have done that. But I think, you know, we have enough to prove that this was real.
Why would people not believe that that's just not a goofy guy in a group? Why isn't this like, let's scare the girl on the bus?
Okay, good point. Yeah. Well, see, we didn't know where we were going. That was the whole point. We got lost.
That's true.
And nobody else knew where we were going. So it was like impossible for somebody to... Impossible, yes. So that's why, you know.
Now, have you shown this to any sort of Bigfootologists?
Yes, oh yes, we have. Actually, a lot of researchers have looked into this. One, I think it's called cryptozoologists.
Cryptozoologists?
Yes.
But, I mean, didn't they leave tracks? I mean, it's snowing. Couldn't you have followed the tracks?
No, it was not snowing.
Oh, it was not
snowing.
It was raining.
So, big difference there. So, no, but see, they came back to the place and they measured of how high it really was, and they figured it was like 8 feet tall.
8 feet tall.
8 feet tall, and it was like really big, so
really big.
Like 500 pounds or so.
500 pounds?
Yeah, I would think. You know,
See,
it was huge.
The problem is people don't want to believe videos. That's the whole thing. I have all the Playmate videos, and I don't have that one yet. But I have the one with the Playmate with the Loch Ness Monster, and that's very good.
I believe that.
Now, are you still? Do you still do Playboy things for them? Are you still?
Yeah, I still sometimes go on trips for them, promotions.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But I mean, what is the next thing that happens, like with this tape? I mean, it seems to me that...
Okay, well, see, I was really skeptical about this first. I can totally see where you're coming from, okay? So but that's why we, like, look...
Well, you have to look at it from my point of view. You do a show called Adventure. You're driving around in a bus.
I know, I know.
We're drunk in the woods and it's rainy. I mean, your boss is going, look, I want a story for next week. That Bigfoot boss! I just saw...
No, I understand. That's why I didn't tell anybody when we came back, you know, because
You
I
didn't
got
tell
that.
anybody?
No, a lot of people asked me the question, why didn't you tell us, you know, right when you came back? And I'm like, well, you know, we just wanted to have some good people look into this and, you know, find out if it was really real.
Hey, this is Thinker Thunker, and today we're going to take a closer look at a clip called Guy Chases a Bigfoot in the Woods.
Get in the house! Get in the house!
Yeah, this thing is great. It's like the best action-adventure Bigfoot footage out there. It should be starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know?
Right, we are going to find the Bigfoot, but I bet my Bigfoot is bigger than his.
All right, I apologize for my Arnold impression and for my animation. Moving on. Okay, this guy got 3 different shots of whatever this is. The first is on the road. Hear that nice grunt? Okay, let's take a look and see what we've got. I wished we could have seen a full shot of this, whatever, crossing the road so we could have seen how many steps it took, but no luck there. Okay, I am seeing massive shoulders, cone-shaped head, huge arms, and a big foot. Another one here. I made an outline of that. And that is essentially what this guy saw crossing in front of his house. That would be a bit alarming, wouldn't it? Oh, and before I move on, I did a video about this very thing that's happening right here. I talked about the creature, whatever, in the Patterson-Gimlin film, and how when it stepped, she stepped, it's a female in that, when she stepped, her trailing shin came up almost 90 degrees. So I want you to stand up right now, as long as you're not driving, and just take a normal step and look at where your trailing shin is. It's going to be at a much lower angle. You know, we're just very efficient walkers, and having to pull your shin all the way up to 90, we just don't do that. Watch people. Nobody steps like this. There's something very odd about the mechanics of the way this beast moves. So anyway, I'll post a link and you can watch that another time. So here it goes across the road. Wow, look at that. My eye says something wrong. You know, something weird is going on here. Like, I would expect to see a human head to be, you know, more up in this area. This thing looks to be, whoever this is, whatever, it looks to be all neck and shoulders, and boy, those are massive shoulders, massive muscular arms, big, thick trunks down here, legs, and big foot again. And following it across. Now it's bounding off, headed for the trees. Oh, look at that. That is just amazing. Okay, I want to stop right here. I can just hear people saying, you know, in a day with HD cameras and autofocus, this ought to be crystal clear. Well, you know what? This guy was panning his camera around fast. And autofocus isn't perfect, okay? It takes it a second to adjust. So when he's moving his camera around that much, sometimes there's just not enough time. Plus, I have this stretched way, way out so we could see that far back, you know? So there's just not enough information back there to make this crystal clear. Okay, here is the next shot. The guy runs in and he stops and he sees this happening. And now we're getting some kind of primate sounding whoops, whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. That was me. And a lot of brush movement. I've got a zoomed in version of that. Let's take a look at that. And further zoomed in here, and I adjusted the exposure a little. We'll run that a time or two. So I'm assuming that is what we saw crossing the road, and it's now crashing through here. And watch as it takes off. It's like it grabs brush on both sides with its hand and then just kind of drags, trying to make as much noise and racket as it can when it's running. I won't even speculate why that's happening. And again, if this is a guy in a monkey suit, he's putting on a spectacular show. You know, he really is. And there must be one massive guy under there, you know. And just scrubbing all the way through. It seems like there's extra activity happening in here. Like it seems like this brush is moving a little longer than it should be, almost like something else is in there. You know, maybe there's more than one of whatever this is. Anyway, just an amazing shot. And then here we have the next time he caught up with it. Let's take a look at that. Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little. Scrubbing through slowly to see what we can see. Cone-shaped head, you know, at least it appears to be. Cone-shaped head, big, thick, heavy neck and shoulders. You know, who knows? Who knows? And it looks like that is a massive hand right there, and it looks like it is hanging well down below its waist. Crazy. And the last shot it got was his final shot, and we'll walk through that. And by the way, I have done my best to stabilize all this so that we can see better, you know, what's going on, but it's still shaky to a degree. Now, some would say that's a dog barking, but to me that still sounds like, you know, a human, a primate sound, something whooping or kind of making a barking song. Like that. And I'm going to zoom in on that a little. So there's certainly no detail, nothing for us really to pick out. So I'll just let it run. And, you know, as far as a closer look goes, that's all I've got. So you guys let me know in the comments. What do you think this was? If it was a hoax, it is a really, really good one. That's all I'll say. All right, thanks for watching.
across a Bigfoot. I'm just not sure. Here, let's see if you guys can tell. I'm so startled right now. I'm so startled. Yeah, it looks like there's two Bigfoots. I don't know. It looks like he's got a dead deer in his arm or something. I'm not sure. Oh my God, I think he sees me. I have to go.
Hey, this is Thinker Thunker. Remember this clip? As the story goes, this couple is hiking this old logging road up in Mission, BC, and they spy this guy way down by the lake doing something. Who knows what? Well, I found a couple of interesting things about this. One, it doesn't appear he's alone. And two, he does something that I don't believe any human on the planet can do. So stick around, and I'm going to stabilize this thing, zoom in, enhance it, and we'll take a closer look. We'll just start back here at the beginning, and we see the big guy coming out of the hole there, and he moves in behind this tree, and now we're going to see where he's reaching up towards this white floating orb. I'm kidding, of course. It's just I can't tell what's there. It doesn't look like there's a tree or anything. But anyway, there's the reach, and it appears he took something, and now he pivots back to his right and did a tossing motion. And lo and behold, the big guy is a southpaw. That's funny to me. I don't know why, it just kind of strikes me as funny. And by the way, he appears to be pretty large. And he also appears to be wearing at least a head-to-toe dark suit. That's all I'll say about that. Can large guys wear black jumpers and go fishing? Sure. Okay, so now he moves back over towards the hole. And, you know, I am not saying that this is a Bigfoot, but see this? That is a Bigfoot. I don't care what you say. Now he steps off into this hole, and look how he does it. Kind of brings his leg way up like he's some sort of drum major or something, and then steps off into a waist-deep hole. And then he comes over and see this arm gesture he's doing? The first time I was scrubbing through here, I thought, oh, well, it is just some hiker, camper, fisherman, or whatever. And he's taking his ball cap or his glasses off and plopping them down. And by the way, he's not doing it that many times. I'm just scrubbing backwards and forwards. And then he did something kind of odd. He came on over and repeated the gesture. So I thought, why? Is he wearing two ball caps? Is he signaling for somebody to steal third? You know, what's going on? And that's when, scrub back a little bit, watch right up here. Hello. See that little head spy hopping there? So he's got company, at least one, and you can scrub through here and see some what looks like other activity. So what is this beyond human capability thing I was talking about? Well, I'll show you. Watch him step off into this hole. He raises his leg all the way up, and then he just sort of drops. Watch how this knee drops to a 45, and then he falls all the way down waist deep. And look what he forgot back here behind him. He walked off and left his foot up on the rim back there where he stepped off. And he's still moving off, and only right there does his foot finally come off. Now, I don't know about you, but I generally keep my feet under me, and I don't leave them back behind me when I'm walking. Now, some of you might say it's an illusion. This ridge right here only makes it look like he stepped off into a waist-deep hole. But no, because his foot is right up there where it was when he stepped off. So, and here it still is, and now it's about waist high on him. So that is a waist-deep hole. So when I saw this, I immediately went out and did some tests. Okay, for this test, I'm gonna try it without having to clear out, clear over the steps down below. And what I'm gonna do is, you're gonna see me hike my one leg up, my knee up high, like he did, and then just try to kind of fall into it with my trailing leg kind of bent in a 45 the way his does. So here, let's just see how this goes. And also, I wasn't willing on this test to just walk off like he does. I'm gonna do it from a standstill. There's the hike, and another fail. And let's look at that again. So you can see my leg going up there like his, and this leg is gonna bend down into a 45 the way he does, and he just kind of falls off into the hole. But remember, his torso stays perfectly upright. And look, I am bent over there. And even without having to go out over extra steps, it still took me 2 or 3 steps to stop the momentum. Oh, and also, that's just knee high for me again. So maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe about 6 of these railroad ties. Maybe I would have to step off that many, and no, I'm not gonna do it. Okay, time for a little side-by-side comparison, me against the big guy, and I've got my leg hiked up like his, and my trailing leg is gonna drop into this 45, and watch, he just falls off into the hole now. I mean, it's the oddest thing. And look, he sticks it. He doesn't take another step, and his foot is still back from where he stepped off, and I'm stumbling off into a Pinto over here. Also, his torso remains perfectly upright. His arms don't fly out, and I'm just flailing all over the place, And yet again, I'm only stepping off something half as tall as he is. There's no way I would step off something way up here. So now, if you ask me to just wildly speculate, okay, so what are we looking at? I think this goes beyond somebody just being in tremendous shape, or like a gymnast or something, just balance. I mean, gymnasts still have to balance themselves when they come off and hit the mat. This guy apparently doesn't. And the fact that his foot remains up there is impossible. So I'm gonna say that is non-human. And, relax, there's lots of non-human things out there. Your dog is non-human, your cat is non-human, gorillas are non-human, bears are non-human, but I guarantee you, that's not a bear, that's not a gorilla, and I also don't believe it's any of the other 8 billion people on the planet. What it is, I don't know, but it seems better suited to be out running and jumping over rough terrain than I am. So, now, it's your turn to have, your chance for wild speculation. What are we looking at here? I know some of you are gonna see a guy in a monkey suit who happens to be the most balanced, double jointed in his hips. I don't know what it would take. I'm just completely at a loss. I mean, other bipeds, they're not gonna have the same biomechanics as we are. His leg seems to just naturally come up, where, remember my first test, my leg is bent straight down, my foot's trying to find the floor, whereas he takes this big crazy step off. So, I don't know. we're seeing something different. And I pointed this out in my first video I ever did. It's called 21 Degrees Between Bigfoot and You. And it just points out biomechanics, how like in the Patterson-Gimlin film, what we see walking does not walk the way you and I walk. And it's not a matter of, well, we could walk that way. I'm saying it's physically impossible for any human to walk the way Patty does in the Patterson-Gimlin. So I'm really putting myself out there. But if you think I'm wrong, film yourself doing just like the big guy here. You know, prove that you can step off into waist-deep holes and keep your foot back behind you as you're moving off. And you know what? I'll post it for you, and I'll be the first to admit how wrong I am here and how clumsy I am and how you are just beyond flexible and beyond balanced. So anyway, guys, that's all I've got, and thank you very much for watching.
Let's have a look at this clip, the full clip, and then we'll go into some enhancements.
Серега, что это? Серега, да ну, Серега. Серега, ну.
You're probably happy to know that I have done a stabilization of this, and I will play that loop a couple of times. Okay, it's one of those videos, again, yeah, it's very blurry, so, you know, it's nothing I can do about that. I can only do work with what I have, clearly. I think it is definitely worth doing. There's also been a lot of requests for this to be broken down, stabilized, enhanced, etc. You know, at the end of the day, this could be a real, it's possible, this could be a real Yeti, Sasquatch-like creature. But here it's difficult to say whether that is a arm extension there, or it could be holding a piece of wood. It just doesn't look like a hand to me. We see a few instances of locked knees. Whether that is a good enough reason to discount it or not, I don't know. I don't think so. Particularly given the quality of the video, we can't see clearly what it is. Also, we can't see clearly whether the knees are locked or not. But they do appear to be locked. But also in a few places we see bent knees as it's walking, like here, which is quite impressive. To think if this is a person in a suit, it is quite impressive to, I think anyway, to walk like this in a situation in a wooded area, in a, you know, possibly in a suit. To keep this gait constant. Broad shoulders, as you can see. Quite a low set head. Or maybe not. It's difficult to say again, like you say, with the quality. So, anyway, here it is. Here is a black and white version. Hello, Bigfoot Tony here. So let's have a look at this Russian jumping Yeti video. Let's play the clip first. Sorry, I can't give any translation. I don't speak Russian myself.
Пипец, короче, тихо. Он, короче, опять на нас попер, наверное. Сейчас заснимем, если что, на YouTube выложим.
Вон, смотри,
тихо. Блин, он движется сюда.
Я боюсь. Вон, смотри. Тихо. Он ветки нашевелит, по-моему.
Я ничего не вижу. О, вон, передвигается. Чучело.
Смотри, ветки шатаются. Смотри.
О, побежал.
Пошли.
Я заснял его.
Чтоб не испугать его, пошли.
Я заснял.
Смотри.
Ё-моё.
Будет килограмм 200 весит.
Угу. Видел, как он своими лапами машет?
Смотри,
вон он.
2 метра рост.
Ёп.
Я боюсь.
Надо отдать эту съемку в НТВ.
Да.
Чрезвычайное положение. Всё.
Побежали.
Пошли за ним.
Okay. Let's take a closer look. Let's loop this section, because what I've done, I've zoomed in and I've done a stabilization of this particular one. Let me just rearrange things a second. Which one is this? Okay. And that one is the jump. Okay. Let's loop this one. So what I'm seeing is something that's inhuman. I don't believe it's a suit. It's all one uniform color, like a grey, blue, silver type of color. Maybe like a dark grey. The legs are very long, and also the upper body, the torso, is very long compared to like a human. The head is around here. You can just about see the head coming at the shot at this point, as it appears to glance to the left, possibly. But look at the angle of where the knee is. It's almost touching the chest as it goes along here. And even in such an awkward position, it moves away very naturally and freely and smoothly. Nothing awkward looking. Let's take an even closer look. Scrub back and forth here. If I put a bit more contrast, maybe. See the back leg following there as it takes another large step. Boom. Just in case you're thinking this is like multiple creatures, it's just one. I'm just looping the okay. Now this one, the jump, and it seems to run and get down on all fours and run away quite fast. Just there, down and gone. You can see what seems to be muscle tone on the back. Head is not visible from the back, which means it's very low down. No sign of the head whatsoever. So I believe this is a real creature. What it is, I can't tell. We know Bigfoot have been known to go on all fours and move in unusual ways. Is this a Russian Yeti? I don't think so. But that's just my opinion. What it is, I don't know. Maybe it is a Bigfoot. It's very interesting anyway. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.
What the? What the? What the?
Да, снимаю. Где он? Вон он стоит. Угу. Сейчас стой вот так отсюда. Пиздец. Он скрылся. Он! Его не видно. Его не видно. Он стоит, он знает, что мы снимаем. Он идет сюда, нет! Не подходи.
Леша, он бежит.
Леша, едь!
Ну как, где он? Погоди, стой. Снимай.
Снимай.
У тебя зум, есть зум? Прибавь изображение побольше, можешь?
Могу.
Двумя пальцами.
Прибавила.
Я поближе подъезжу.
Смотри.
Сюня.
Вчера он же, по-моему, был, да?
Ага, это он.
Он что-то как-то странно бежал. На четвереньках.
Он идет. Он бежит. Он встает.
Что за хуйня?
Что, ты не можешь ехать? Лёш.
Лёш.
Лёш. Окно закрой, не выходи, Лёша!
Да не паникуйте вы сейчас.
Лёш! Окно закрой.
Он бежит.
Лёш, окно закрой!
Он идет.
Лёш!
Он бежит.
Лёша!
Аделина, открой, пожалуйста, окно и телефон сними, чтобы четко было. Он все равно нас не догоняет, он медленнее идет. И вот снимай, да, вот так вот.
Господи.
Все, окей, давай, снимаю. Только главное, едь. Он упал. Он упал. Ладно, все, едь, Леш, все нам...
Все, домой, нет?
Да, домой!
Hey, Bigfoot Tony here. This video, it is grainy, especially when you zoom in. But what we're looking at, what we're going to try and, what I'm trying to accomplish here is the movement of the subject. So I've stabilized certain points, certain parts in the video. There's no point in me stabilizing all of the video all the way, you know, from beginning to end, because a lot of it doesn't actually show the subject anyway. So I'm going to go through a few parts which I've selected, the main parts with the actual figure in anyway, and just you know, just play it over, repeat, and you let me know what you think. Obviously from beginning to end, start to finish, in order of the actual footage. Alright, so this is the first part which I've decided to work on. So I work frame by frame. I stabilize frame by frame. So it takes a long time. I don't use the filters, the stabilizing apps in the program. I've stabilized each frame, rotate it and zoom in and everything individually. Some people have commented, why is this? You know, it's they say that it's not in the nature of this creature, of Bigfoot, to run after a vehicle, for example. Well, I mean, no, I think particularly if this is a Russian Bigfoot. I mean, I certainly don't know. I certainly wouldn't know if that's true. I do know that they do bluff charge, and to me this appears to be what it's doing here anyway. But to me, it's bluff, you know, like a kind of a warning. Interesting, both arms raising up at the same time, almost like a bird flying kind of motion, almost like or like a swimmer doing butterfly, I think it's called. So that's so that's interesting. Not the typical run that a human would do, you know, oscillating arms left and right. That's interesting. So it's an interesting section which I thought was good, and you know, kind of ducking down to its right here. Okay, on to the next part. I think it either falls, or you know, it could be injured. Also, it could have been hit by a vehicle. This could be another reason why it's he or she is actually upset, maybe angry. It appears to be angry. Anyway. And Igor Burtsev says that it's he thinks that it could be a female. I think he's confirmed in his mind anyway that it's a female, judging by some protrusion on the chest area. I'll show you some stills which they have isolated from their film, and I've enhanced myself at the end of this. See, even in this case, appears to be limping. Or maybe this is how they move in this situation with long grass. Same in black and white. So here's a section coming up now. It's quite loud, the audio, where the people are screaming, and by the way, this video is already been cut. It's already been edited by the owners of the video, or somebody working with the owner of the video. So they have edited it. There's nothing nothing controversial going on. They've edited the video. There's no surprise there to me. You know, there's no hoaxing going on that part anyway. So this is what they've added to the video towards the end, and I thought I'd keep the audio on just to for you to understand the realness, the drama in the actual footage that's going on. And black and white. Okay, so I mean, my opinion is, I mean, I'm sure you know my opinion on something like this. You know, it could be real. You know, it could not be real. Nothing would surprise me these days that this could indeed be a hoax. Obviously, the video quality is nowhere near good enough for us to say yes or no. I'm kind of 50-50 on this. That's my feeling anyway. From the stills, we can see that the head is very low set, very low set indeed. These are some older stills that I worked on, but since these I have acquired clearer stills from Igor, from his timeline, with his permission. And so what Igor is saying, that there is a resemblance to the form, the form of Patty, and you know, I agree. I mean, you can't deny. In this case, and I've enhanced them. I've changed them to black and white. You can't deny really that in this case we do see kind of a conical head, similar form, similar structure, similar width, similar shoulder stockiness, low set head, conical head there, as you can see. Look how low the head is. There, and look at that. That's quite interesting to me. For me, when you look here, you see kind of a lighter area here, which I think Igor was mentioning, that the protrusion here also, and in a number of frames, we see something protruding there. You know, which I think is the reason why he thinks it's a female. I don't know what the actual witnesses said, whether they said they saw breast or not. I don't know at this stage. I mean, now and then we see kind of lines here which you could say that it could be a suit, but you know, what kind of a costume or suit would have a line here? I don't know. That's a bit unusual to me. This could just be grass, you know, part of the long grass. But here we see kind of a sharp edge here, but that, I think that's due to the pixelation, if I'm honest. But look how low the head is, and we see a conical head here also, the point here. So that's very interesting. So we see a lighter area here, and kind of a lighter area here on the top. Alright guys, yeah, hope you enjoy this breakdown. Sorry, I don't have the original video to work on, so this is what I've had to use is from the YouTube version. I hope it's up to the standard expected by certain people and by yourselves. I mean, like I say, there's not a lot I could do, but enhance this. Hope this helps, and thanks for watching.
Turtle Island Sasquatch.